Welcome to the first session of Basic Bible at Christ Church Cathedral. Basic Bible is the second in our Back to Basics series of classes that provide a foundation for the Christian faith. And in this class, as the name suggests, we're looking at the Bible from beginning to end, from Genesis to Revelation. Find that most people have an interesting relationship with the Bible and one that is filled with trepidation. As I go out in the world, I found that three phrases that in the world's consciousness have gradually come to define the phrase avoidant situation are going to church, going to the dentist, and Bible study. Bible study for most of us just sounds boring. It sounds dry. It sounds like all the oxygen has just been sucked out of the room. Well, the goal of this class is to break that bond. It's to help us encounter Scripture not just as something that we plow through out of obligation, or that leaves us slightly intrigued but mostly confused, or treating it like it's the rules on the back of the Scrabble box top of life. The goal of this class is to help Scripture sing through you, and to help your life sing in chorus with it. To give you the tools, skills, and motivation you need to enter into and to maintain a regular and faithful practice of reading Scripture. And so I want to start with a really important question. What is the best love story that you've ever read, heard, or seen? What's the best love story that you've ever read, heard, or seen? And then think about what makes that love story great. Maybe it is passion. Maybe it's conflict. Maybe it's pursuit. What makes it a great love story? Now, I ask that question because the Bible is a lot of things. The Bible was written over 1,500 years by at least 40 authors, including kings and scholars, philosophers, fishermen, poets, statesmen, historians, and doctors. It is history, it is poetry, it is law, prophecy, letters, apocalyptic. But if you have to say the Bible is only one thing, it is a love story. It is an epic love story. Now, imagine if you'd only knew your favorite love story by hearing 2 or 3 paragraphs of it at a time, once a week, read out of sequence. Or you saw scenes of it played randomly every now and then. Now, it wouldn't be useless. You'd still be inspired and moved by it, maybe. You could still get a lot from it, but you wouldn't really understand it. That's what our relationship with the Bible is usually like. I had a professor in seminary, Leander Keck, who used to talk about the lectionary. That's the way that we chop up the Bible and read it in portions on Sunday. He used to say the lectionary is like a bag of salad. It's okay, but you'll never really learn what a carrot looks like from it. And so one of the goals of this class is to find out what a carrot looks like. Find out what this epic love story really is from beginning to end. Second thing I want to talk about is we call it the Holy Bible. Why do we call it holy? Why do we call it the Holy Bible, Holy Scripture? Well, I think there's 2 reasons. First is it's holy because we believe that God speaks through it. In 2 Timothy, Paul talks about Scripture being theopneustos. I'm not going to try to say that word again. What it translated as is inspired by God. But literally what it means is God breathed. God breathed. Scripture contains the life-giving essence of the divine in the same way that the creation story tells of God breathing life into the first earth creature, into Adam. Scripture is holy because even though it is 100% written by human beings, it is also 100% breathed by God. Second, it is holy because countless generations of holy people made in God's image have looked to it in faith. Scripture is holy because holy people have valued it, have treasured it, written it, edited it, sung it, painted it, sculpted it, lived by it, and loved through it. We are holy because God's breath is in us. Scripture is holy because of the breath of God that is in it. We become holy by touching the breath of God in Scripture. Scripture becomes holy by touching the breath of God in us. So in Scripture, there are always two texts that are always interpreting each other. The story and our story. And they become one. And what links them together is God's breath. So time and again in this class, and time and again as we read Scripture together and as you read it at home, we're going to ask the question, where do these things meet? Where does the breath of God in Scripture touch the breath of God in your life? Where does the text of your life meet the text of this story? There is a motion that happens in this epic love story of Scripture. And as in every love story, it is adoration, rejection, pursuit, reunion. Adoration, rejection, pursuit, reunion. The motion of this love story looks like this: creation, fall, embrace, exile and return, cycling over and over again. Incarnation and redemption and return. Creation, fall, embrace. Exile, return. Incarnation, redemption, return. Don't worry about memorizing those now. We're going to dive into each one of those. But just to let you know, there is this motion that happens of creation, fall, embrace, exile and return, incarnation, redemption, and return. And like any love story, those themes play out in the particulars of the story. And that's what we're going to start looking at the first week.